Hello, this is Simon from boltonguitar.co.uk, and for this tutorial I'm going to go through Little Waltz in A major by Joseph Meissonnier. This is a good introduction into playing slurs. Throughout the piece there's quite a few hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now for those who are new to slurs, what a slur is, it can be where you play a note and hammer the left hand finger down to sound the second note. You can also do that with open strings, so you could play the second string open and hammer a finger on it. You really got to hammer down quite hard to get that second note sounding. We can also do the opposite. We can actually do a pull off where you actually play the note and flick the finger off. Now don't just lift your finger up in the air, you're actually pulling the finger sideways so it lands on the fingerboard and actually up against the first string. Obviously if you're playing the first string pull off, that finger's just going to pull off into space. But the principle is the same. You play the note and you flick the finger off. Don't just lift it. It's to get the clarity of that second note. So hammer on, pull off. And collectively those are referred to as slurs. So this piece starts in 3/8 time and starts actually with a slur. It starts with our pickup notes coming in on the third beat of bar 1. So we're starting with the first finger at the second fret on the second string C sharp, and we're playing that note, and then we hammer that second finger down onto the third fret second string D. Bar 2 starts with playing the fifth string bass note A open and placing the first finger on the first string second fret, and we play the fifth string and first string together, slurring that first finger off, pulling it off to sound the open first string E. That's followed by playing D sharp with the third finger of the left hand on the fourth fret of the second string. We then play the first string open, move the finger to the fifth fret on the first string, giving us A. We play that note, and then we also slur that finger off, or flick that finger off. So bar 1 through to the end of bar 2 is hammer on, pull off, pull off. So it's bar 3, we have a chord of A major, so we're placing the first finger on the third string second fret and the second finger on the second fret second string C sharp, and we're playing the fifth string open, giving us our bass note of A, and then the third and second strings. We play that twice. With our free third finger, we now play the F sharp at the second fret first string, and again slur that finger off to give us the open E. So bar 3 is. Into bar 4 we're moving into a chord of E major, which is actually the dominant chord of A major, and we're playing our first finger on the third string first fret G sharp, the second string open B, and we're playing the sixth string open E, and we play that chord twice. So that's the sixth string, third string and second string together. Back to the first string second fret F sharp, and we do a pull off to the open string. And bar 5 we're moving back to our A major chord, so that's the second finger on the second string second fret and our first finger on the second fret of the third string A, and we're playing the 5th string and 2nd string together, followed by the 3rd string. So the first 5 bars are and that's repeated. Now that's taking us into bar 8 onto the E major chord again, but this differs from bar 4 in that the final 2 notes are now a D, which I play with the little finger, and we're slurring off to our C sharp on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and we're playing that as, and remember, pull that little finger back down onto the fingerboard. Notice that when you're doing this slur, you have to prepare both fingers together. So the little finger and the 2nd finger must go down simultaneously in order to do the slur. And then finally, at bar 9, we then back on octave A. So we're playing the 5th string open and the 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string A. So from the beginning we have A chord, E chord, A chord, then it repeats. Slight difference. Now, normally that will then repeat. So then we're now moving to the 2nd section. So this is the 3rd beat of bar 9. And we're starting with a slur on the 1st string 2nd fret. Now, we've just played our A with the 1st finger. So what we do is use the 2nd finger for this 1st note. So you're playing the 2nd finger and you can slur that off to give us the open E string. Bar 10, we have a chord of E dominant 7th, so we're playing the 6th string open, that's E. We need the 2nd finger now on D on the 2nd string 3rd fret, and the little finger on the 4th fret of the 1st string G sharp. And we're playing the 6th string, 2nd string and 3rd string, 6th string, 2nd and 1st string together, and we play it twice. With the 1st finger free, we're now playing our F sharp on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and we do that a slur to the open string. So it's, and bar 11, we're into a chord of A major, where we place the 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string and the little finger on the 5th fret of the 1st string, and we're playing the 5th string, 2nd string and 1st string together, and we play it twice. At the end of bar 11 we have another slur, the F sharp back to the E again. And now we're continuing into bar 12 with another inversion of the E dominant 7th chord, and this time it's using the 2nd finger on the D 3rd fret 2nd string, and this time the 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, giving us B. So we play that along with the open 6th string. The 1st finger is free, so that plays the slur, which is the F sharp, back to the open E again. So from the 3rd beat of bar 9, we have bar 10, bar 11, bar 12, and bar 13, we're back to our A major chord, using the 1st finger and the 2nd fingers on the 3rd and 2nd strings, along with the open 5th string, and we play it twice. And now we go through the process again, so we're playing F sharp, pulling off to E, dominant 7th chord, so that's again using the 2nd finger on the 3rd fret 2nd string and the little finger on the 1st string 4th fret. Slur off from the F sharp to the E, the A chord with the long stretch. And now on bar 16 we have our only bar chord in the composition. So we're putting the first finger across the second fret of the strings across to the fifth string B. And we need to play first of all the D sharp on the second string 4th fret. Keep that finger on, we're barring, and we're playing the 5th string covered with the bar and the 3rd string covered with the bar. So that's giving us B, A, and our little finger on the D sharp. So that is now. It's also possible to play that chord using the little finger and then the second finger on the A on the 3rd string and the first finger on the B on the 5th string 2nd fret. I think that's just a bit awkward to actually do that, but it is feasible. Try both ways, see which way you like. I think it's better to play it as a bar. Seems to be the more obvious way of playing it. And bar 17, we're on to our chord of E again, so we're playing the 6th string. This time it's the first finger on the 3rd string 1st fret G sharp, and we're playing the open 1st string. So that's the 6th string, 3rd string and 1st string. So that central section is like this. And now from bar 17 onwards, it is a repeat of the first section with just a slight change at the end. So we're playing. All this is repeats. Now that's the same as before, but on the final bar, we now play just the A as a single note on the first 3rd string 2nd fret and finishing with the open A. So that last bar would be. So from bar 23 to the end it will be 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. So we have this. And now over to the right hand. So starting with the bar 1, the pickup notes, I'm playing index finger, hammering the finger on to that next note. So it's index finger. Notice I've also got the thumb prepared on that 5th string ready for the bass note coming up. So then it's index finger, thumb and middle finger, index finger plays the 2nd string, 1st string's played with the middle finger, and then the pull off on that 1st string I use the 3rd finger. So I'm playing I always try to avoid crossing strings with the fingers, so I always prefer being able to move from, say, the 1st string down to the 2nd string, or vice versa, with the index finger on the lower string and the middle finger on the high string, rather than having the fingers the other way around. I'd find that playing then That just feels really weird and awkward to me. So I start with the fingers lined up, index, middle finger, index finger, middle finger. Then third finger plays that pull off. So that's giving us, the following chord is played with the thumb, index and middle fingers. And then the next note, I use the third finger on. And the chord again, thumb and index and middle fingers. And at bar 5, we're playing the A major chord. So I'm playing the 5th string with the thumb, and the middle finger plays the 2nd string, followed by the 3rd string with the index finger. So those first bars are then middle finger, bar 8, and then I play bar 9 with the thumb and index finger. Notice in the music there are some rests as well on the bass line. So on bar 3 we're actually playing the chord, stop the bass note in order to play the melody note. So we're playing. Now all you need to do to stop the bass note is just put the thumb back on. So it's then the same goes in bar 4. Then on bar 5 we can let the bass note sustain. Stop it. So just be careful that you stop some of these bass notes where it's written in the music as 8th note rests. So carrying on into the end of bar 9, using the 3rd finger for the pull off again. The chord on bar 10 is thumb, index and middle fingers. I use the 3rd finger again. Thumb, index and middle. 3rd finger. 3rd finger. Chords. 3rd finger. Thumb, index and middle. 3rd finger. 3rd finger. And then the bar on bar 16. Middle finger giving us the D sharp 2nd string, and then thumb, index and middle fingers. And bar 17 our E chord is the 6th string, 3rd string and 1st string, so I'm using thumb, index finger and the 3rd finger on that 1st string. So from bar 9 we have chord, 3rd finger, and then into a repeat. On bar 24, just the middle finger plays the 2nd string for the slur, index finger plays the 3rd string, A, and then we finish with the A bass note. And there we have the Waltz by Joseph Meissonnier. I hope this tutorial helps you to play this little piece. Music and tabs are available free from my website www.boltonguitar.co.uk, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.